100 companies have filed warrant acts. So what does that mean? That means that if your company's going to do layoffs, they have to report it. Depending on the size and what they're going to do, they have to file with their city, with their local municipality. And we're going to go over some of them, and we're going to watch a video that I thought I would not see ever. But here it is, right? 2025 is where everything's on the bingo cards. So let's look at these warrant. Here we go. Full list of companies laying off employees in March. So if you're an employee and thinking about your company's not on here, check out this list and make sure that you are protected and you're good to go. So here we go. This is going from John Deere, Advanced Drainage System, of Neiman Marcus, of Inoc, of Telesign Corporation, Fisher Group, FedEx, Sacramento Motors, Bloomingdale, San Francisco, The Breakfast Club, The Radio Show, Walgreens, Air Wisconsin Airlines, Intel, QuantumScape Battery, Joanne. There's like everything in here. AT&T, Prime MSO, Kaiser Permanente, Del Monte Foods, CVS Health, Macy's, Resident Homes, IGM, Stryker, Sin Technologies, Kohl's, Phyla, and you kind of get the deal. There are so many that it is not even worth really reading all the list. So if you're employed, I would definitely head out and check it out, because the video I'm about to show you is absolutely insane. I've been telling you this for a very long time, and a lot of you guys believe me, some of you guys don't. And let's watch this together, and then we're going to talk about it. But before we do, please like and subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you think about this video that I'm about to show you.
Come with me to get laid off. I joined a meeting with my manager this morning and HR was there, so I knew immediately what was happening. My company has not been doing well lately, but I just naively thought that'll never affect me. I thought wrong. My initial reaction was to cry, not out of sadness, but just out of pure shock. And my parents happened to be in town, which I am so grateful for today. Although the reason they're in town is that I just bought a new home. Talk about timing. I still have to furnish this home, even though I'm not going to be making any money, so I went furniture shopping. I took a quick mental breakdown in actually furniture, just contemplating what my life looks like now. But then I realized I just need to eat and that'll make me feel better. So we went out to lunch, and then I realized I could just take a nap right now in the middle of the day. So that's what I did. I had a hair appointment that I had already booked, and there was a lady there who was just totally rubbing in my face that she was employed. How rude. And then I went and got a milkshake to emotionally eat before sitting down to file for unemployment. As it turns out, since I worked one day this week, I have to wait until next week to get any benefits. So see you back here then.
Okay, so I thought I've never ever say this, but people are starting to realize, and kudos to her that she was aware of it. She says, oh, and this is what I don't get with a lot of people. They say, my company hasn't been doing good, but they're gonna lay people off, but I thought it wasn't me. When your company's not doing good, the first thing you need to be doing is if there's blood in the water, you need to be like, you rather jump a ship and start applying, start networking and doing things before it gets bad, right? Because if you're gonna be like out and about and, just minding your day, and all of a sudden HR calls and says, you're out, you're at ground zero. You're literally at ground zero. And this is absolutely brutal if it catches you by surprise. So you have to be prepared for it and start networking, providing value, doing things, and say, hey, it's coming, I just don't know when. And you don't have to take an offer. You can always interview, see if you can get a promotion, get something better with a company that has more financial backing than whatever you got going on. And I don't know this woman. I don't know the video. I just saw the video, so I don't know any background. I don't know anything else. But it's interesting to me to see that there's so many people say, oh, I knew the company was doing bad, but I never thought it's me. And a lot of you guys have been saying, and I was reading even the comments that said, we're about to lose everything. And if you build your dominoes so close to each other that when you lose your job, the whole house of cards falls, you should have watched my channel a long time ago and actually practice a little bit of doing what other people are doing, paying off debt, making sure that you get a pay raise, not get the newer car, not going out to $500 dinners, and start being like, hey, let me just put it in my savings account. Let me build up an emergency fund. And I think everybody needs to have an emergency fund. I think everybody needs a few $1,000, 10 grand sitting in a bank or $20, $30, $40,000 so they can fall back on that. And if they do get laid off, they can let the credit card or whatever rack up a little bit, but you still have money to pay out. Even though unemployment pays out a little bit, unemployment doesn't do shit. Unemployment doesn't pay anything. So you really got to get some cash ready for bad times. And if you do not have family members that can give you cash, parents or anything else, you need to have the money set aside. And I'm telling you, it is nothing worse than standing out in the rain, no jacket, no poncho, no umbrella, and it's raining, and you're standing there like a wet poodle getting rained on, and you're like, oh shit. So prepare and start networking, putting yourself out there, and making sure that, hey, I have insurance in place, I'm providing more value, I'm doing this. So let's read some of the comments. I'm super glad your parents were there. I got laid off and landed a way better job. Be sad today, but work on your next opportunity tomorrow. Perfect. So yeah, I bought a new house in December and was laid off 3 weeks later. I landed a better job. So yeah, so there's plenty of people that are landing jobs. You just got to do it the right way. See, you'll find something else. I love Facebook Marketplace for amazing quality secondhand pieces. And then they go on and say, hey, thank you for your vulnerability. I wish you the best. And I'm so glad, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, thank you. And when I got laid off, it was a few days before I left for Canada to see Taylor Swift. So I absolutely feel with you. And yeah, so then these people all kind of talk about their journey of how they got laid off. And I'm telling you, it's brutal. Ellie went through layoffs, and I've never really been laid off. I've always kind of quit and said, no, I'm done. Because I always was the person that was like, if I do something, I'm always like networking. I'm always like asking other people like, yo, what do you do? What's going on? If I'm in the room, I'm always like asking for opportunities, trying to put myself into these places with opportunities and trying to be in rooms with opportunities. That's just kind of what I like doing, and I'm kind of seeing now how you do it. And it's just like, and I highly encourage you to do the same thing. And if you got a 9 to 5, you're good, you're good till you're not. So you really gotta think about your long-term strategy, your long-term play, because there's stuff coming down the pipeline that we have no ideas about. You saw these 100 companies that have been doing, that filed for, hey, that they were gonna let people go. So it could be 1 people, it could be 100, it could be 500, right? Or it could just be 5. And now we're reading, and you can see some leaked Meta stuff that they said, oh, we're not gonna do it like other companies. We're just gonna let smaller teams go. So we're just gonna do 10 people here, 20 people there, and we're gonna just, instead of letting 100, 200, or 1,000 people go at once, what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna let people go at a weekly basis. So they don't have to file nothing, and they're just gonna let insulated teams go that are underperforming. And that's one way of looking at it, right? And it's just getting even more competitive in the Bay Area if you're one of these people that are like, I got laid off and now I got to find something new. So one thing that I tell my job seekers, and I had a call the other day with some of them, I said, if you are not the best at your job, and there's people that are just mediocre, they just can't get it, they're just like, they're not that motivated, but they still want a job in a specific field. I said, you got to move outside of the city where everybody applies. So let's say, for an instant, you're in the Bay Area and you want to be a software engineer or supply chain or something else, and you just can't land a fan company. Then you're not going to work for a fan company, you're going to work for something else, right? And if you can't do that, you move more towards the outside of the city, an hour, 2 hours away, to see like, hey, this is something that I can do, because if you're going to move out where there's like not a lot of competition, not a lot of people want to move there, right? And so then that means that you, as not that qualified, are going to probably still be more qualified in that area than other people are that are from that area, right? Because you're like, hey, I'm working tech, I do all these, I worked in tech before, I did all this, and so you're disqualified. But in the Bay Area, you need to be disqualified to get the job. And in this other area, you just have to be this, right? To be like the top candidate. So there's like bars, right? But don't take this wrong. You still gotta be providing value and doing a whole bunch of things. And software probably wasn't a great thing because you can do software from anywhere now. But for teams that are actually have to be on the job site, right? Actually go in there in person and not just Zoom in virtually, right? So yeah, it's changing. It is changing. The landscaping of ever evolving hiring and firing is just changing every day. And people need to be assured that, hey, when I hire you, you're going to be a good return on my investment, regardless of where you're at. And if you're not going to be doing that, then you are going to be asked to leave and not come back. And then they're just going to revoke your access and be done. So there are so many things that you can do as an employee to prevent that, is have another opportunity before this one runs out. But a lot of you guys just, for some reason, just think that your gravy train, like this woman's gravy train, is going to last forever. Oh, I'm just going to ride this out right here. Instead of like, yeah, my company's not doing so good. Maybe I should send out 1 or 2 resumes a week, or 1 or 2 a day. Not like full floor, just like not like 100%. Let's go really hard on it. No, let's just go a little bit and see where this goes. Maybe I get an interview. Maybe I get this. Maybe I get those opportunities. And once these opportunities are starting to come in, there might be something that is really, really cool that you really, really want to do, right? So it's never bad to seek out opportunities. And yeah, as an employer myself, I'm always like, yeah, if somebody comes to me, to my employees, and would say, I'll pay you more, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. You get opportunities, you get better. If they treat you better, give you higher salary, and you work less hours, hey, I would take that too. So you gotta, as an employer, you gotta understand, like, hey, these are just people too. So if they got those opportunities, they should take it, because if you were in their shoes, you would take it too, right? On the other hand, if you got a real sweet gig going, you should probably stay there and just make sure that, hey, I'm not going to be caught between what is that phrase called? Between a rock and a hard place. Exactly, that's what I was trying to say. So you don't want to be there, and yeah, you just got to be prepared, because tariffs, uncertain times, and uncertain times with layoffs equals sleepless nights, equals less sleep, more mental health problems, I guess. Yeah, so try to do that. If you're seasoned and you have a huge network where you can go independent and you can start selling your own services, go ahead, try entrepreneurship out. But I'm telling you, entrepreneurship, sometimes it's nice like this, where you can take a walk in the afternoon, and sometimes you're working till 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and there's zero paycheck coming in because you haven't closed the deal, right? So when I tell you, it's all about who you know, what your negotiation skills is, marketplace, everything else, right? And I always hear people say, you should teach entrepreneurship. You should teach entrepreneurship. There's about 3 lessons in entrepreneurship. You get kicked in the face, you lose your teeth, you stand back up, and you repeat it, right? So kick in the face, lose the teeth, and you get back up, right? And then there's also that riding high when you do succeed, right? So yeah, that's about it. When you get kicked down, you come back up. And everything that is worth having for is going to be a sacrifice. It's with kids. If you have kids and you go through pregnancy, sacrifice. Pregnancy, you're going to feel, wifey's going to feel sick doing all that. And then you're going to have a little one, right? And so is it with entrepreneurship. You're going to put a lot of free time, a lot of time of building out things, of putting in the effort with almost zero pay. But one time you find the right key that works, you unlocked huge potential. But to get that right key and getting kicked in the face, getting your teeth knocked out, and getting them put back in is brutal. I'm telling you, I've been there. And it's just sometimes even me and Allie are just sometimes are just scratching our heads and brainstorming. Why didn't this work? It worked before. What's going on? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this? Why is that? So yeah, it is the huge ups and downs. And then there's, do I sell high ticket item? Do I sell small ticket item? Do I sell volume? Do I sell, am I luxurious? Am I just providing top-notch service? It's like, or am I going to do, something in between? Am I going to bill hourly? So there's so many things when you're going to go down the route of entrepreneurship. It's, you can't teach it. You fail your way to it. Success. That's how it goes. So I hope that helps. And yeah, I always love what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you guys are in one of these companies that are filing these notices. And I appreciate you guys. If you haven't connected me on LinkedIn, and please subscribe and like this video. And I'll see ya in the next one. Gotta get home before the rain. Can't drive this car in the rain. So yeah, it is the ABS system. The drift thing is just not good.